We got a problem.
This upcoming draft might not have the buzz or a sense of excitement than years past, but that doesn't mean you can't find a hidden gem that could help your team get to the promised land. There's not an obvious superstar or franchise-changing prospect in this draft, and most of the players at the top are either playing overseas and are injured or have decided to stop playing college basketball for the rest of the season. This has contributed to the lack of excitement for this draft class. There seems to be just as many international prospects that are projected to go in the first round as prospects playing in college basketball. There still is a couple of months of college basketball left, but I believe we already know what most of these prospects can bring to the table on the next level. This is my NBA draft prospect breakdown video for the 2020 draft class. Georgia freshman guard Anthony Edwards. He's one of the few top prospects who isn't injured or playing overseas. Edwards could be the most complete prospect in this year's draft. I don't believe he can be a superstar on the next level, but he does have the potential to be a perennial all-star. Edwards has one of the highest ceilings in the draft, and he just turned 18 last August. There's a lot of room for improvement. He has a size and frame standing 6'5" and weighing around 220 pounds. His game is in the same vein as Victor Oladipo and Dwayne Wade. He has the handle and potential range to score from anywhere on the court. He's got a quick first step that allows him to get to the rim relentlessly, and his frame allows him to finish through contact. Even though he's not shooting a great percentage from the field, he does have a good shooting form, a quick and very high release. There were a few games in the Maui Invitational where he really got things going. He proved that he can get buckets in bunches. Edwards can take over the game and put his team on his back. He has good athleticism and can play above the rim. He is proven to be a scorer, but he's also a willing passer, which is a good sign for a young player. He carries so much of the offensive load for Georgia, he isn't really asked to defend the best guard on the opposing team. But he has shown the ability to move his feet and stay in front of his man. But he doesn't always keep up his defensive intensity for the whole game. Getting in better shape could help that. Shot selection is also something he needs to work on going forward. He has the tendency to force the issue a lot, and that could lead to a lot of bad habits. Edwards is one of the most talented players in all of college basketball. He can do many things well, and he doesn't really have any major weaknesses. He will be in the discussion for the #1 pick. My NBA draft projection for Anthony Edwards is a top 2 draft pick. Memphis freshman center James Wiseman. It's unfortunate that we won't see the big man for the rest of the season after he decided to leave Memphis and prepare for the NBA draft. I believe he showed just enough in the games he played to solidify his place at the top of the draft. Wiseman has the ideal build for an elite center. He is 7'1", 240 pounds with a reported 7'6" wingspan and a 9'3" standing reach, and he has the frame to add muscle over time. He had impressive stats, but he still is raw offensively. His calling card coming out the gate is his defense, rebounding, and being a lob threat. He in many ways projects as a Dwight Howard type, but he does have the potential to be better on offense. Although a small sample size, his size and athleticism allowed him to average 3 blocks per game and average 11 rebounds per game. He should have an instant impact on the glass and as a rim protector, but Wiseman has a long way to go on the offensive end. The left-handed big man has a promising jump shot, but he must continue to improve it. There are questions about how he will score on the next level besides putbacks and lobs. He does show good footwork, but he doesn't have the potential as a low-post scorer like a DeAndre Ayton. His overall offensive game is a work in progress. When he plays against a more physical opponent, Wiseman tends to settle for jump shots and let the defense off the hook. But if he can turn into Dwight Howard with a consistent jump shot, a lot of teams will take that in a second. But many scouts don't project him as a franchise player. He has a lot to prove. My NBA draft projection for James Wiseman is a top 2 draft pick. Guard LaMelo Ball. LaMelo looks like he could end up being better than his brother Lonzo. The expectation around the league is that LaMelo won't play another game overseas after injuring his foot in December, which is obviously the best move. LaMelo has advanced handles and passing skills that allows him to be one of the best combo guards in the draft. He has had a number of games where he was the best player on the floor and took over games. He became the youngest player in the NBL to record a triple-double with 32 points, 11 rebounds, and 13 assists. And he had more than one triple-double this season. Just like Lonzo, LaMelo has to prove he can shoot with consistency. He has a questionable shot release just like Lonzo. His shooting efficiency is a huge red flag. That could really put a cap on his ceiling. That's what has kept Ricky Rubio from reaching his full potential. Another red flag is his defense. He gambles a lot and for the most part is disinterested on that end of the floor. It takes hard work and commitment to be good defensively. And LaMelo hasn't proven that even a little bit. That has to change. LaMelo has some concerns as a prospect, but his size, youth, and elite vision will have him considered at the top of the draft. My NBA draft projection for LaMelo Ball is a top 5 draft pick. Washington freshman forward Jaden McDaniels. McDaniels has slowly entered his name in the discussion to be drafted in the top 10. At Washington, he has shown enough potential to NBA scouts that he can be an impact player on the next level. He has shown enough potential to NBA scouts that he could be an impact wing player on the next level. He has elite height and length for a small forward. He is a highly skilled offensive player and can be a real mismatch with his size, ball handling, and shot making. He has to keep improving his outside shooting, but he has been solid throughout his whole freshman season. He has begun to take better shots and is a willing passer. NBA scouts are intrigued by his potential on defense also. He has made a difference at Washington with his rebounding and defense. His wingspan instincts and the ability to cover ground should translate easily to the NBA. With a lot of prospects with question marks, McDaniels could hear his name called earlier than projected. He does have a history of being inconsistent during his senior year in high school, but if he can finish the season improving and being consistent, he could be one of the top selections in this draft. He obviously has a slight frame and could be pushed around in the NBA. Adding strength is a must for him to reach his full potential. My NBA draft range for Jaden McDaniels is from 4 to 7. North Carolina freshman point guard Cole Anthony. He is another player who is currently injured as he had surgery on a torn meniscus in December. North Carolina has been in a tailspin ever since he got hurt, which is encouraging for Anthony on his impact as a prospect. It's unclear if he'll return to the floor for North Carolina. Cole Anthony has shown to be more of a scoring guard and hasn't really proven to be a floor general. Now that could be because of the lack of talent around him. Anthony is a big-time scorer because of his range, quick first step, and ability to create off the dribble. He doesn't have great size for a point guard, but he is a good athlete. He kind of reminds me of Colin Sexton, somebody who can score the rock, but hasn't proven to be a distributor. Maybe being around better talent will unleash his passing potential, but he hasn't proven it yet. And he's not an efficient shooter either. He's shooting just 37% on 2-point attempts. Anthony is a player who probably would benefit from coming back this season from injury and solidify his position in the draft. He offers a lot of value because of his scoring, coming off screens, spotting up, and creating his own shot. Anthony has good instincts defensively. He shows good recognition, awareness, and anticipation and gets in the passing lanes. Plays with a lot of passion and intensity. Anthony embraces being a vocal leader on the court, especially on defense. He has the talent and potential to be a starting point guard in the NBA, but he needs to polish his shooting and playmaking. My NBA draft range for Cole Anthony is from 6 to 10. Israeli forward Danny Avdija. There was a lot of hype with Danny coming into the season after leading Israel to an under-20 European championship last summer. But his play this season has raised more questions than answers. Some scouts was actually comparing him to Luka Doncic, which I think is ridiculous. Doncic is a once-in-a-generation type of talent. But that doesn't mean that Danny can't be a good player on the next level. He has good size at 6'9" for a small forward. He's a true team player and will do whatever it takes to win games. I wouldn't say that Avdija is elite at any one area, but he can do a lot of things well. He has solid handles and has been able to create space, but he may struggle against NBA defenders. He's a good but not great shooter, and if his shot isn't falling, he can contribute as a passer, rebounder, and make key rotations on the defensive end. Danny has been a good communicator and has shown he can be a leader on the floor. His intangible and high basketball IQ is very encouraging for him as an overall prospect. Strength is something he needs to work on also. He can't get pushed around with trying to attack the basket on offense. Tightening up his handling and getting stronger could maximize his potential. He might not have all-star potential, but he can be an important piece on a good team. My NBA draft range for Danny Avdija is from 6 to 12. Arizona freshman point guard Nico Mannion. Mannion is a competitive skill playmaker who has a good all-around skill set. No matter what level he's played at, he keeps proving his doubters wrong. Mannion is a table setter. He makes the right reads and decisions most of the time, and he's effective passing with either hand. He shows excellent poise as a freshman. He is cool, calm, and collected. Mannion started the season hot from three-point range, but he has cooled off ever since. Before his back injury on November 29th, he was shooting 51% from the field and 48% from three. He's not the most explosive guard, but he is crafty enough to drive to the lane and finish with his floater. He has enough handles to create enough space for his pull-up jumper. He can quickly get his feet set and can quickly square his shoulders to the basket. He competes hard on defense. Mannion is a scrappy player who can play up on his man and can get around screens. He doesn't have the ideal size and he lacks elite speed and quickness, but his passing, handle, shooting, and instincts will have him considered in the top 10. My NBA draft range for Nico Mannion is from 7 to 12. French point guard KILLIAN Hayes. Hayes was actually born in Florida, but grew up in France. He's been a player who's been getting a lot of attention from NBA scouts for the last couple of years. He was the MVP of the 2017 FIBA Under-16 European Championship, and he averaged 16 points and 7 assists a game during the 2017-18 season in the French Junior League. His size at 6'5" makes him the ideal combo guard on the next level. Hayes has strong vision as he is able to see angles and hit shooters and cutters in the proper location. His tight handles allow him to keep defenders on their heels with quick crossovers and behind the back moves, which allows him to get in the lane. Hayes has a very impressive touch around the rim as he has developed a reliable floater once he gets in the lane. He's better shooting the outside jump shot on the catch than pulling up at this point, which makes him a good option off the ball. KILLIAN is light on his feet and has an impressive step back that will make Luka Doncic and James Harden proud. His defense needs to improve and seems to have trouble getting around screens guarding the pick and roll. He's been excelling playing better competition in Europe, and if he continues to play as well as he has lately, teams may consider him in the lottery. My NBA draft range for KILLIAN Hayes is from 8 to 14. USC freshman center Onyeka Okongwu. There probably isn't another prospect who has helped himself more in the first part of the season than Okongwu. He's an athletic rim-running five-man who can get up and down the floor with the best of them. Even though he's only 6'9", Okongwu sports a 7'4" wingspan, and that length along with his athleticism, timing, and instincts could help him become a terrifying defensive player in the NBA. His mobility and agility is special. He moves around the court with effortless speed and is very light on his feet for a guy his size. Most young big men have a problem committing a lot of fouls. Not Okongwu. He fouls 4.9 times per 100 possessions, which is a very low number for a freshman big man. That's lower than the most recent one and done big man. His ability to elevate and contest vertically is very impressive. He can defend switches with his foot speed and ability to flip his hips. He is shown to have a nice touch around the rim, with an occasional jump hook and a floater. He's not a natural post scorer, but he can score down low. He shows potential as a shooter by the fact that he's a 76% free throw shooter, and with more time, he can be knocking out perimeter jumpers on a regular basis. Okongwu's rebounding is another plus on his profile. He's averaging around 9 rebounds per game. He's not the best decision maker as a passer, and he misses open teammates for easy buckets. Okongwu can be a two-way productive big man who you never have to run plays for. He checks a lot of the right boxes. My NBA draft range for Onyeka Okongwu is from 8 to 14. Iowa State sophomore point guard TYRESE Halliburton. After the departure of Lindell Wigginton and Taylor Horton-Tucker, Halliburton is the full-time point guard in his sophomore year. He has been one of college basketball's breakout stars. Halliburton is the definition of a floor general. His high basketball IQ, vision, poise, and savvy are the skills that stand out the most. He's an excellent decision maker with the ball, and he makes his teammates better on both ends of the court. Always keeping his head up and finding teammates, even in the tightest windows. And even though he has the ball in his hands a lot, he still is able to take care of the ball. He has great size for a point guard standing 6'5" with a long wingspan. HALIBURTON is able to finish over the top of the defenders when attacking the rim. His long arms makes it difficult for his opponents, and with his excellent awareness and high motor, he could be a plus defender on the next level. Adding strength is a must. He's only around 170 pounds at the moment. He could have a difficult time facing really strong physical guards. He has an unorthodox shooting form, but he can knock down open jump shots. He's not projected as a prime-time scorer, but he can keep a defense honest. My NBA draft range for Tyrese Haliburton is from 8 to 14. Dayton sophomore forward Obi Toppin. The redshirt sophomore has made a name for himself with his production and offensive versatility. There aren't too many bigs who are lob threats and can consistently hit threes. Toppin makes both look easy, making him the ideal fit as a stretch 4 on the next level. He's been a dunking machine in college basketball. Toppin is 6'9" with great length and great athleticism. He not only has prototypical physical attributes, but he has a skill set to match. He's a threat to score on the low block, around the rim, and can stroke it from the outside. He's not a great low post scorer, but he is solid. He can run the floor and is a high flyer. He can defend multiple positions, grab rebounds, and protect the rim. Toppin plays with great energy and plays within himself. He's already 22 years old, which will give teams hesitation in selecting him in the top 10. But like I said earlier, there are a lot of question marks in this draft. Drafting a talented 22-year-old won't be a bad idea this year. He has led Dayton to a 13-2 start, and he is averaging 19 points, 8 rebounds, while shooting 36% from three-point range. He's a legit threat to win National Player of the Year. My NBA draft range for Obi Toppin is from 8 to 16. Auburn freshman guard Isaac Okoro. The freshman sensation for Auburn has helped his squad get off to an undefeated start. Okoro's draft stock has seemed to rise after every game. This guy is 6'6", 215 pounds with a 6'9" wingspan. Okoro is probably the best defensive wing in this draft class, and he might be on the same level as last year's draft pick, Matisse Thybulle. His head coach Bruce Pearl said he was one of the best he's ever coached, even before he played his first game. His size, athleticism, and instincts helps him succeed in a variety of ways. Okoro has the footwork and agility to stay in front of his opponents on the perimeter. He will make his money on the defensive end in the NBA. Okoro can defend on and off the ball because of his impressive reaction time. He has the ability to hold his own in the paint and has the versatility to switch onto any position. Okoro is an elite finisher, converting around 75% at the rim during his freshman season. The main question about his game is, can he be dependable enough on offense to keep him on the floor on the next level? He is shooting just 24% from beyond the arc on just 29 attempts this season. Teams worry about his low free throw and three-point percentages, but those skills can be improved. My NBA draft range for Isaac Okoro is from 10 to 16. Guard RJ Hampton. The 6'5" combo guard is making a good adjustment to the level of play in Australia and is finding ways to contribute. Not too long ago, he came back from a hip injury that sidelined him for 2 weeks. Hampton plays under control and takes shots within the offensive structure. Part of the reason why his stats won't blow you away. He moves the ball and capitalizes on his opportunity when they are presented. Hampton has blazing speed in the open court. Sometimes it seems like he's the fastest player on the court on most nights. He is a good scorer in transition as he can get the rebound and take it coast to coast for easy buckets. But scouts question his perimeter shooting, and he hasn't shown a ton of confidence in his jumper on a consistent basis. He plays hard on defense and is a good help defender, but he will need to improve his defense on the ball. Hampton is a talented prospect who can play the point and off guard and loves to attack the basket. Becoming a better overall shooter could unleash his full potential. My NBA draft range for RJ Hampton is from 10 to 16. Kentucky freshman guard TYRESE MAXEY. The best prospect on Kentucky is a combo guard who plays his best against the best competition. He has a versatile offensive skill set that will allow him to play on the ball and off the ball. Maxey has natural scoring instincts and is a threat to score from anywhere on the court. He isn't afraid of the moment and can rise to the occasion. He has shown that he can be a solid passer, and because of his lack of height for a two guard, playing point guard in the NBA could be his best option. He draws the defense and has a real nice feel for the game. He shows great fight and determination and plays hard on both ends. As I said earlier, he plays his best against the best competition. In 3 top 5 matchups against Michigan State, Ohio State, and Louisville, MAXEY averaged around 23 points on 54% shooting from the field. But on the season, he's only shot around 30% from 3-point range. Most scouts believe he's a better shooter than the season averages suggest. My NBA draft range for TYRESE MAXEY is from 8 to 14. Washington freshman center Isaiah Stewart. This guy's a throwback. A bruising, undersized big man who is comfortable doing all the dirty work in the paint. He brings constant energy and effort on both ends of the court. Great combination of physical strength, mobility, and speed. Stewart is undersized at 6'9" for a center, but he does have a massive 7'4" wingspan that will more than make up for his height. Stewart is a great finisher around the basket and can score in the low post and cut into an open spot. He is still raw as a low post scorer, but there's potential to be a steady scorer down low in the NBA. He'll make a name for himself as an energy guy, rebounder, roll man, and transition finisher, just like Montrezl Harrell. He's been an excellent defender as a freshman and can defend one-on-one in the post and on switches. Tends to make good rotations on defense due to his awareness and quick feet. He's not a knockdown shooter at this point and also struggles at the free throw line. That must improve. My NBA draft range for Isaiah Stewart is from 12 to 18. Duke freshman center Vernon CAREY Jr. This year, Duke doesn't have a high-profile 5-star recruit like Zion, Jason Tatum, or Kyrie Irving. Vernon CAREY Jr. is looked at as the best prospect on the team. His game is a little mix of old school and new school. He has the skill set in the low post to get buckets on a consistent basis. He is a mismatch nightmare with his size and strength. His ability to physically dominate the point of attack gives him plenty of easy opportunities near the rim. CAREY has surprisingly quick feet and decent elevation for a player his size and weight. With this low post game, he is taking baby steps as an outside shooter. He hasn't taken many of them, but he is shooting 50% from 3-point range. He has been a terrific rebounder on both ends and has established himself as an interior defender and rim protector. CAREY Jr. is very left-hand dominant and needs to develop his right hand to be less predictable. My NBA draft range for Vernon CAREY Jr. is from 12 to 18.
We got a problem.